channel. As you can see, I've got a special guest here. This is Ollie, good friend of mine from Lift Your Limits Fitness. Very knowledgeable guy, and he's going to be answering some questions that you guys have sent me through social media.
You're right, guys. My name's Ollie. I'm soon to be setting up a YouTube channel, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. Been training for about 6 or 7 years. Currently 4 months into a cut. I only really bulked properly twice, so I'm looking forward to getting back, on a proper 9-month lean bulk after this cut. Worked in a few gyms for a few years as a fitness instructor and personal trainer, but just got sick of the people that worked in gyms, not knowing the fundamental biomechanics and anatomy and physiology that that they need to work with clients and to give them the information that they need, not just the basic stuff, but mechanically and physically. So like AJ, I'm at university now, studying sports exercise science and nutrition, and that's me pretty much.
That's how we met each other. We met each other through uni, and yeah, he's a really cool guy and he's very knowledgeable as well. So once he does release his channel, which we'll talk more about at the end, it'll be a good channel to subscribe to, and he'll have a lot of content because we've been speaking about this for a long time as well. But anyway, let's get down to the questions.
Let's go. I'm looking forward to these.
We have a few interesting questions here, really good questions as well. We'll start with a question from Sibuk Shah, and he says, there's various different theories, but in your opinion, or to your knowledge, is it possible to burn a considerable amount of fat and gain a considerable amount of muscle at the same time when you are not new to lifting? Also, what would your advice be for a considerably overweight individual looking to gain a lean but muscularly big physique?
So the first bit of the question you're asking is, can you gain a considerable amount of muscle while burning body fat? Are you taking steroids? Then hell yeah, definitely. you can burn fat and you can build muscle quality size at the same time, but naturally it's slightly harder. It depends. It all comes down to you. It all comes down to nutrition and where you're currently, what your diet's like, what your macronutrient ratio is at the minute, how many protein, how much protein are you eating, how many carbohydrates, how many fats, what's the quality of those foods like? Are you eating them from nutritionally dense, foods? Are you hitting your goals? Are you getting the right amount of calories? Not just, you're eating 3,000 calories a day. What does that 3,000 calories a day consist of? Is it 40% protein, 40% carbohydrates and 20% fat? Or is it 60% carbohydrates, 20% fat and 20% protein? There's going to be big changes if you have someone eating 3,000 calories a day who's having those, and then you have someone 3,000 calories who's having those. The body compositional changes. If you look at someone's going to have more lean muscle mass than the other. And not just diet, it also comes down to training. Are you training in a periodized manner? Is your training split down? Are you doing the typical bro split of chest tries, back buys, shoulders, legs? It might be more beneficial for you to do an upper and a lower, rest then upper lower, and work the muscle more frequently. If you implement nutrition changes and you look at the macronutrients and the ratios, which you can get information off AJ from or look online, and you put that together with it and you implement a good structured training program that's periodized and you're progressing, then I don't see why you can't build muscle and burn fat at the same time.
If you want my opinion on it, in my opinion, when you're not new to lifting, you can gain muscle, but that's only if you're lifting and you're lifting wrong. So basically you've been lifting for 1 year but you haven't really made any gains, you're still skinny, you're still in the same position you were in from when you started. That just means you were doing it wrong. So if you were doing it right, then you're pretty much new to lifting from the period that you're doing it right. You can be not new to lifting but doing it wrong. You pretty much know what I mean from me saying that. But in terms of being not new to lifting and actually doing everything right, you can't build muscle unless you're on a juice. Like Ollie said, I completely agree with everything Ollie said. Because when I started out, I was I was skinny. I got really skinny. I got skinny to an extent where I wasn't lifting or anything. I was starving myself, and you could see my ribs and everything. And my diet was, all I was eating was probably around 60 grams of carbs, protein, maybe about 100 grams of protein, and fats was really low, probably about 20 to 30 grams. And I was still packing on size because I was new to lifting. It weren't a lot of size, it wasn't significant, and maybe I could have got more, but that was because I was new to lifting. And now I've been dieting for about 7 months. I've been training a lot harder than I was training, on my bulk. On my bulk, I wasn't training as hard as I'm training now. I didn't put the maximal effort in. The maximal effort that I'm putting in now is chilled. Now I'm putting in a lot of effort. I'm going to the gym a lot more and whatnot. But I've not put on any size. I maintain size, but I've not put on any size. So when you're not new to lifting, I don't think you could put on size unless you've been doing it wrong and you haven't got any muscle. If you haven't got any muscle and you're familiar with lifting, then yeah, you can put on size, just change things up, do things properly. Maybe you're not doing something right. In terms of nutrition, if you're an overweight individual looking to gain a lean but muscular big physique, you should go on a cut, lose the fat, lift, get familiar with lifting, up your strength, and then once you're lean, I think that's when you should bulk. And it is possible, nothing's impossible. You can get to where you want to be, you just got to put the work in. But I hope that answers your question. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
I'd just say it all comes down to where you are right now and what is your nutrition now? How many calories are you eating? What percentage of those calories are coming from the 3 macronutrients of carbohydrates, protein and fat? What is your training like? Are you training consistently? Are you consistently doing cardio 3 times a week, 5 times a week, once a week? Are you consistently doing resistance training, lifting weights twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week? It all comes down to you and what your current training overview, what the diet consists of, what the training consists of. That's the cardio, not just weights. Because if your nutrition at the minute's poor and you've got good genetics and you've already got some good size, by just making small changes to your nutrition, like upping your protein by 20%, or changing your carbohydrates from starchy carbs to changing to some sweet potatoes and some rice, or eating more oatmeal or some oats. Just making small changes like that could have a big impact on your physique. And it's not just where you're currently at now. The more muscle your body holds, the more calories you're going to burn anyway, right? Through your metabolic rate. You're going to have a faster metabolism and you're going to burn more calories each day because muscle requires more energy than fat. So the more muscle you're building, the more fat you're going to burn anyway, right?
Exactly, yeah, exactly. I agree with that completely. But I hope that answers the question. I think we'll keep it as that because we were pretty much answering that question for a really long time. So should get a lot of information from that. We'll move on to the next question from Hamza Patel. Basically, I've started gym. I want a bulky body, but I want to lose a bit of belly before that. Can you give me some tips on how to lose weight through workouts? And after that, what should I do to get bulky and muscular? Ollie, we'll start with you again, mate.
Sounds pretty much like the question before. I mean, you want to get bulky and muscular. What I'd say is it all depends. I know this sounds, I've said this a lot, but it's person specific. It comes down to where you currently are and what your current training is. What I'd say with goals, a lot of people, they want to get ripped and they want to get big at the same time. But it's like the old common saying, you try chasing 2 rabbits, you'll catch neither.
Unless you're extremely genetically gifted and you're capable of doing something like that. But
most people, they either want to put on some size and then they cut down, or they just put on size and never cut down, which is why you see all these guys in the gym that are bulky that never have a vein showing or an ab showing in their life. But at the end of the day, if that's how you want to train, and if you want to go in the gym and lift heavy and you don't want to look aesthetically good, then that's fine. Do what makes you happy. But it's good to focus on one goal. So if you're going to think, right, I want to get bulky, all right, what does that mean? How much size do you actually want to put on? That means you've got to increase your calorie intake and you've got to consistently eat. If your recommended daily intake for your body weight, if you go on a body calculator online and it says 2,500 calories to maintain, you've got to eat 3,000 calories or 2,800 calories every day consistently, and you've got to focus on training and eating that amount and training consistently for 3 or 4 months if you want to bulk. If you want to cut, then you do the opposite. You focus on eating less. You're in an energy deficit and your training is tailored towards cutting, and you follow it through for 12 or 16 weeks or however long you want to cut for. But you need to choose one goal or the other. It's hard to choose both.
If you want to lose your belly more than you want to build muscle, I think you should cut, lose your belly, get familiar with lifting up your strength. Like I said for the previous question, same answer. Get lean, get strong, get familiar with the exercises, then bulk.
Always better to start a bulk when you're leaner.
Yeah. That's what I did. Like, even if I was starving myself and I wasn't lifting initially, I learned a lot through lifting whilst being on a caloric deficit and getting lean. So when I eventually bulked, I learned a lot in the gym. I learned a lot of things from the people in the gym, and I learned a lot through, self-teaching and whatnot. So if you want to lose your belly, cut. If you don't care about your belly and you want to bulk, then bulk, because you can lose your belly anyway through cutting. Like in future, it's about priorities and having an aim. What do you want? What do you want more? Do you want to build muscle or do you want to lose weight? It's completely up to you.
And how much does your belly? Sorry, I was just going to say, how much does your belly actually bother you? If you've got a big belly and you're constantly looking down at your stomach every time you've got your top off, or you're getting changed in the change rooms, and you're conscious about your stomach and your belly, then obviously you want to try and cut down, and you want to lose some body fat first, and then you want to do a lean bulk, and not all of a sudden start smashing down pizzas and donuts and 1,000 calories more every day. You're going to have a more structured and slowly increase your calories approach.
See, mate, that's another point with guys now. Like, it's really media orientated as well. They want that beach body, they want the abs, and sometimes they're not really fat, they're slim, they just don't have developed abs. So they want to get ripped and get abs, but they're skinny. So if you're skinny fat, that's what we call it, skinny fat, not necessarily got any abs, and your arms are like pencil thin, then you should bulk. Don't worry about your stomach. You need to develop your abs.
Build some quality size first.
You can build some size. So if you don't have a belly like, something that you wake up every morning and feel like crap about, like which I had. Mine wasn't big and firm. It was quite soft and whatnot, but it was still a belly, and it was quite big, and it was something I was self-conscious about, something I had to get rid of. But if it's not big to an extent where you can see it through a t-shirt or something, then it's not too bad in my opinion, and you should bulk. But if it is something that really bothers you, even if it's not too big, then just cut. It's about doing whatever you want. At the end of the day, you're lifting for yourself, you're not lifting for anyone else. So
exactly, do what makes you happy.
But
I just want to something else I'd add to these both of these previous questions, right? They both mentioned you're building muscle and burning fat at the same time. You've got to make sure compound lifts are a main part and basically the primary focus of your training. You want to make sure you're squatting, you're deadlifting, you're bench pressing, you're doing bent over rows, shoulder press, stiff leg deadlifts, all these compound movements that focus on using more than one joint in one movement, that focus on utilising large muscle groups and not just isolating muscle groups, because you're going to burn more calories and you're going to recuperate more muscle during those exercises and lifts. So you've got to make sure they're a fundamental part of your training program.
Alright, let's move on to the next question. The next question is from Nabs Saf. I got a question which you may want to put in a video. Do calories matter in becoming lean? This is regarding whether the amount of calories you consume matter in comparison to the type of food you eat in those calories. So basically what he's asking is can he eat whatever he wants as long as he reaches his calorie goal and still hit his bodily aim?
Massive topic. Massive topic.
It's a good question.
How long have we got?
It's a good question.
It comes down to the question: is a calorie, right? And does it all come down to calories in versus calories out? Now, yes, it does. It's an energy balance equation, right? You've got to be in a negative energy balance or a deficit to lose weight or lose body fat. The same with gaining muscle and gaining fat. You need to be a positive energy balance, right? So a calorie surplus. But if you've got someone that's getting 500 calories from brown rice and chicken, right, and then you've got someone else who's eating 500 calories from Pop-Tarts and ice cream, right? Now they're both eating 500 calories, But if you look at the people after, say, 6 weeks of one person eating brown rice and chicken and one person eating, the ice cream and donuts, the body composition is going to be completely different. The person eating the chicken is obviously going to have more lean muscle mass than the person eating the junk. It's just common sense. So, but at the end of the day, they're both going to be losing weight. But it comes down to, what do you want to lose? Do you want to lose fat, or do you want to lose muscle? Do you want to build muscle, or do you want to build fat? Do you want to increase muscle or increase fat? The macronutrients you consume convert into mass, which is either going to be muscle or fat at the end of the day. So yes, it does come down to an energy balance. It comes into calories in versus calories out. But all calories are not created equally, which, shows in if you looked at someone and the body compositional changes.
Adding to what Ollie's just said, it's also to maximise your performance. So we're going to train legs in a bit. If I was to eat a donut to 200 grams of rice or something, for example, I don't really know the caloric difference between them, I would perform better eating the rice than I would the donut, because the donut won't fulfill me as much as the rice will. And at the end of the day, it's about maximising your performance as well, and it's psychological. Definitely. As well. If I'm eating crap every day, eventually it's going to get to me. And you had a binge day the other day, right?
Yeah.
So
like, everyone has them.
It happens, especially when you've been dieting for a long period of time.
Long time. Yeah. And sometimes you need that sugar fix, so you need those high glycemic carbs, which you haven't had for a while, to increase leptin levels and things like that. But talking about what AJ mentioned was performance. If you eat 100 grams of oats, right, which you're going to get about 60 grams of carbs from, and then you eat, you eat 2 donuts, right, that you're going to get about 60 grams of carbs from, same again. Same around roughly the same calories, maybe some more calories in the donuts because of the fat, but you're going to get a high glycemic response, so you're going to get an insulin spike from the donuts, so you're going to get a sugar rush, then a crash. Whereas the oats, they're going to be a slow release of energy, and that is going to benefit you in the gym and your performance far more than, the fast digesting donut.
Talking of the crash, like, he came in to uni the day after he actually had his binge, and he was just like, mate, I feel like crap. Whereas if he had 4,000 calories, which is what he had in his binge, if he had 4,000 calories of quality calories, like foods like brown rice, chicken, the good stuff, he would have felt a lot better. He would have been energized and he would have been ready to perform. I mean, we did go to the gym and he had a pretty good session nevertheless.
I had a great workout.
But it would have been probably a lot better if he actually ate the right food. So to answer your question, you have to eat right to maximize your performance and get the best out of your body. And calories are calories, and you will hit your goals, but you'll hit your goals a bit more optimally if you, not even a bit more optimally, a lot more optimally if you eat right. So I hope that answers the question. Let's move on to the final question, and I've got to be subtle about this, and be mature. So, does masturbation have effect whilst you're either trying to gain muscle, strength, or lose fat or weight?
Masturbation.
Yep.
I guess you're talking about ejaculation and...
It's ejaculation, yeah.
Orgasm and, killing your testosterone or losing your testosterone because you're having an orgasm and you're releasing testosterone. I was talking to a guy from my gym about this about a year and a half ago, and we were talking about having a girlfriend and how it impacts on training and recovery, saying that, I don't get as much sleep as I do than when I'm single. I get my 7-8 hours a night, and when I've got a girlfriend I get 5 or 6 hours, and whatnot, and sex like more frequently and constantly releasing testosterone. And I actually went to read some studies on it and found, I can't remember what study, it was an American study. I'll post a link. I'll get AJ to post a link to it in the description. And they found that testosterone, peak testosterone, comes after 7 days. So the peak testosterone levels in your body are after 7 days, and it's at like 147%. And after that, it doesn't peak anymore. So, I mean, if you're saying if you're, masturbating twice a day or every day, I mean, it could do. I mean, because you're never allowing your testosterone levels to reach that peak point that they get to after 7 days without masturbation or without, without having an orgasm or having sex. So it's up to you. I mean, it's not going to affect them drastically, but I mean, if you're like masturbating, like having sex like 2 or 3 times a day, or even like every day, I mean, you're never allowing your testosterone levels to build up. So I mean, just like for a few weeks of the year, allow it to build up to like 5 or 7 days, and then.
Yeah. I mean, you see me smiling through this video, it was because of that question. I was just looking at it and it just brought out the child in me, so I apologise for that. But that's pretty much all the questions we got asked. Ollie will probably feature in future episodes as well. We're going to work on a lot more projects. Obviously, I told you about his channel, which he will explain about now. So if you want to tell him about your channel and what content your channel and whatnot.
Like similarly, like to AJ, just recently launched his YouTube channel. I'm going to set up a fitness channel called Lift Your Limits Fitness. And it's going to be based on, I'm going to have cooking, recipes, question and answers, supplement reviews, nutrition videos, training videos.
Shopping on a budget.
Bodybuilding on a budget, because we're both students, right?
This guy knows his budget as well.
So yeah, just a bit of fun really, and hopefully giving you some good free advice as well, which you might not get at the gym, or just to clear up any questions or any
when his channel does come out, I will post the link on my Facebook or whatnot. So if you want to check out his channel and check out his videos, like you'll see him affiliated with me, because we'll be working on a lot of projects together. If you have any social media links that you want to give him, just
Yeah, well, when I set the channel up, I'm going to launch it in the next few weeks. I'll be posting links to my Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, things like that, all in it then. So, I mean, when the channel's up, I'll get AJ to give me a shout out. And
yeah. So basically, don't add him up until he becomes a YouTuber, because he doesn't want to know you until then. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. We're going to train legs in half an hour, so we've got to wrap this video up. It's already been about 25 minutes long.
Too long.
So that's a lot of information for you guys. Like I said, Ollie's going to bring out his channel soon. We're going to work on a few more projects together, a few training videos or whatnot. And you'll obviously see it on my channel, and his will be collaborating or whatnot. Anything else you want to add before you go?
If you want to do it again, comment on the video with some more questions, and we can do it again in a week or a few weeks or something. So let us know what you think.
Oh, that's another thing. Don't forget to give it a like. Don't forget to comment on it. Don't forget to share. And remember, if it don't make gains, it don't make sense. So basically, dump your girlfriend.